Everybody, Linda Yaccarino here, class of 1980. We're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about masking up or packing up. I promise you, we're doing good so far. Just keep your distance, get your hands washed often, get tested often, and wear your mask. That'll get us closer and closer to normal days. We are resilient. We are tough. Keep doing it. And we'll be back at Beaver Stadium before you know it. Mask up or pack up. We're almost there. We are.
All right, guys. So we got to talk about some big news involving Elon Musk's Twitter, okay? Because he has now announced that he has hired a new CEO. Now, this should not be a surprise because Elon Musk announced a few months ago that he would be stepping down as CEO of Twitter because, I mean, the guy is running like 3 or 4 or 5 companies. He can only do so much, right? So we all knew that Elon Musk was looking for a new CEO. And a lot of people were speculating who is the new CEO going to be because that is important in regards to the direction of this company. Now, Elon Musk claims that he's committed to free speech. However, he has pissed off people on the left and the right because Elon has tried to thread the needle here in regards to allowing more opinions, particularly conservative opinions, that weren't allowed on the platform before to now be allowed on the platform, okay, which has pissed off liberals. However, Elon hasn't gone as far as to let the more controversial characters back on the platform, like, for example, Alex Jones. And there are conservatives who are saying that, you know, Elon Musk is not going far enough, okay? So he has caught criticism from both sides of the political aisle. But the criticism that Elon Musk probably cares about the most at this point is criticism from the woke advertisers who threatened to boycott Twitter, okay? There was a mass exodus of woke advertisers from Twitter after he bought the company because of his promises to make it more free speech friendly, right? It's a shame that we live in a country like this where advertisers are saying, hey, you know, we're going to boycott a company because they have opinions that we don't agree with, right? They don't want to go along with our woke, you know, capitalist agenda. But anyways, Elon Musk has been trying to figure out a way to monetize Twitter in a way in which they're not dependent on advertisers. However, the reality is that Twitter is a multi-billion-dollar company, and in order for them to survive, they need advertisers. And Elon Musk probably kept that in mind. That was probably his primary thought when he hired this new CEO of Twitter, which has pissed off both sides of the political aisle. Okay, now the new CEO that he hired is a woman by the name of Linda Yaccarino, who just stepped down as NBCUniversal's head of advertising. She is a part of the World Economic Forum. She worked for them. She also had worked for the Trump administration as well, too, being on his council for like sports, fitness, and nutrition, right? So she's worked for a little bit of everybody. But again, she's catching a lot of backlash, and Elon Musk is catching a lot of backlash as well, too, because apparently this woman is woke. Take a look.
I can talk about, you know, things that my company is doing to accelerate, right? To accelerate what we were doing already, but realizing that it wasn't enough. So what immediately started happening was that under the leadership of Brian Roberts and Jeff Shell, Comcast set up a fund to the value of $100 million to fight social justice and equality, and obviously supporting many important groups. But it really made a very public statement that we're going to put our money where our mouth is. We're not going anywhere. And it inspired action across every corner of our company, because what it also did was made leadership of our company accountable.
Yeah, so again, people have a lot of major criticisms of her, not just because she's woke, but she also, you know, was pushing the COVID vaccine. You know, she was pushing masks. Okay, she went all in on the pandemic and the World Economic Forum agenda when it comes to the pandemic. Again, people are rightfully concerned about her being the alleged pick for the new CEO of Twitter. And I want to play this conversation that she had with Elon Musk. during a recent marketing conference in which she went back and forth in an exchange about the role of advertisers on these platforms and whether or not they should be dictating what these platforms do and how these platforms choose to moderate content. It's actually a pretty fascinating exchange. Take a look.
So you've got a massive platform. You have a vision that is a spectrum of just daily open sourced conversation. And they can conduct their lives, their business, their commerce, whatever they can do on your platform. That's a pretty big vision. But in the middle should be advertising opportunity. That sounds like a great opportunity. I can talk about my brand, I can get my customers to communicate, and then they could also buy stuff. That sounds pretty good, right?
You'll be able to buy things just directly on Twitter. One click, boom, done.
But they need to feel that there is an opportunity for them to influence what you're building, that vision. What we're doing here, whether it's me trying to push and prod you on your tweets. For example, you've said you probably shouldn't tweet after 3 a.m.
Well, I've got myself
Probably good advice for all of us.
I've gotten myself into trouble a few times.
I'm very aware of those. So after 3 a.m., you travel all over the world. Lord knows how you handle time zones in space. Will you commit to be a little more specific and not tweet after 3 a.m.? People in this room would like to see that. It'll make them feel more confident.
I will aspire to tweet less after 3 a.m. But I mean, it is important that, I mean, if I were to say, yes, you can influence me, that would be wrong. That would be very wrong. Because that would be a diminishment of freedom of speech.
But I want to be specific about influencing. It's more of an open feedback loop for the advertising experts in this room to help develop Twitter into a place where they will be excited about investing more money, product development, ad safety, content moderation. That's what the influence is.
Yeah, I think it's totally cool to say that you want to have your advertising appear in certain places in Twitter and not in other places. But it is not cool to try to say what Twitter will do. And if that means losing advertising dollars, we lose it. But freedom of speech is paramount.
So Twitter 1.0 had a very well-populated, much-loved influence council. I think we need to change the name. Elon does not want to be influenced. But it was really a recurring feedback loop from your key stakeholders, your advertisers, where they had recurring access or would have recurring access to you. Would you commit from this stage today to reinstate that council to be named later?
Well, I don't think it should be influence council. And you have to say, I would be wary of that creating a backlash among the public, because if the public thinks that their views are being determined by a small number of CMOs in America, they will be I think, upset about that. But feedback, I think, is appropriate. And at the end of the day, if somebody's spending money for their ad campaign, it needs to yield results for their organization, or it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so for those of you who are still confused about what's going on here, right? Some of you guys are asking questions about why would Elon Musk hire somebody that's associated with the World Economic Forum, okay, a organization that he has criticized himself. Why would he hire somebody that appears to be woke, that appears to be pro-censorship on the behalf of advertisers? Well, it's just the same reason why any business decides to, make a decision. It's about money, right? Let's read this sentence right here. A glowing profile on NBCUniversal's website notes that Yaccarino's team, quote, has generated more than $100 billion in ad sales since she joined the company in 2021. And guys, that's all you need to know, right? That's all you need to know in regards to why this is happening. Okay, I did a video on Tucker Carlson and Fox News sidelining him because I don't think he's technically been fired yet. He's still on a contract. But they sidelined him, and then immediately after they sidelined him, 40 blue chip advertisers came back to the network, which means that although they're getting less viewership, okay, from that 8 p.m. time slot that Tucker used to have, they're probably making more money because advertisers are paying more. And at the end of the day, I mean, these businesses are about making money. When you say, well, why are these businesses woke? Why are they this? Why are they that? Well, it's about money. They're woke for money. They are political for money. They think that this is what's going to make them money. This is what they think. And Elon Musk sees the writing on the wall when it comes to Twitter and making this a profitable company in the sense that he can't just abandon the advertisers. Now, what is happening here, okay, all hope is not lost. Okay, before people get too upset with Elon, I think that Elon Musk is trying to thread a needle. Okay, I think he's trying to make Twitter an advertiser-friendly platform while at the same time trying to maintain a balance of free speech on the platform. That is why I think that his initial first, few months or so of taking over the company and transforming the company has been him trying to help independent creators monetize for themselves. That way, those creators themselves are not necessarily dependent on advertisers. But for everybody else, okay, that's on the platform that may not have Twitter Blue or whatever, hey, they have more advertiser-friendly content. Because if you guys haven't noticed, Twitter Blue and the blue check system has now become political. Because now, despite liberals in the past loving blue checks because it was a sign of their elitism, right? They love the blue check system that the old Twitter had. Now they hate it because Elon Musk owns Twitter and he's basically allowing anybody to get a blue check who pays for it. They hate it now. Can't stand it. So they're actually boycotting the blue check as a declaration that I don't support Elon Musk and I don't support free speech, right? That's what they're doing, okay? This is a declaration of their political ideology that they're liberal, okay? Conservatives, on the other hand, are buying the blue check, okay, in support of Elon Musk, in support of free speech. And Elon Musk has rolled out a number of features that are more focused on Twitter and creators being able to monetize without being dependent on advertisers. Because if you're dependent on advertisers, then that means that advertisers run your company, right? If advertisers say you have to moderate content, then you got to moderate this type of content because they don't want their ads shown on certain types of content. Okay, this is why YouTube cracks down on certain creators, right? It's because you have advertisers that say, hey, we don't want our ads shown on this person's content, and then YouTube basically demonetizes the whole channel, right? Now, the difference between YouTube and what Twitter's doing is that when YouTube demonetizes a channel, they'll demonetize everything. They take away your subscriptions, they take away your donations, they take away all the stuff, even if it's not necessarily dependent on advertisers, which I think is messed up. And I think it's anti-free speech. I also think it's unnecessary. And it's also, I don't think it's good for the company bottom line because they don't have to do that, right? Just because advertisers don't want to put ads on your content, that doesn't mean that you should take away a creator's ability to monetize their content on your platform, right? But YouTube chooses to do that for whatever reason. Twitter is going in a different direction where they're saying, look, even if you put out content that advertisers don't want to put ads on, you're still allowed to monetize the content on the platform through subscriptions and other ways of monetization, which is the main thing that Elon Musk has been working on, which is allowing creators to monetize independently of advertisers on Twitter, okay? To incentivize them to create more content on Twitter through direct monetization opportunities that, again, are not dependent on advertisers who, again, are overwhelmingly woke. They're overwhelmingly political, okay? They want their ads to be on certain types of content, okay? Twitter has already naturally segmented itself via Twitter Blue into groups of people who probably are more advertiser friendly and those who are not more advertiser friendly, which, again, is fascinating. And I think that that's what's happening here. And that's why you have this new CEO being hired, because she has all these connections to advertisers, okay? And that she can probably convince advertisers to come to the platform knowing that, you know what? We have a group of creators who are in Twitter Blue who aren't necessarily dependent on advertisers for revenue. They monetize without advertisers, okay? We don't need to place your ads there. But we have a whole other segment of people who don't have Twitter Blue, who are more advertiser friendly, and we'll put your ads there. I think that's what's happening. And I think if that's what's happening, then I don't think we need to worry too much about Twitter becoming less free speech oriented because the CEO might be woke, because Elon Musk still owns the company. He's also still an executive at the company. And just based off that conversation that he had with her back in the past at that marketing event, I don't think he's going to let her political ideology dictate the direction of the company when it comes to censorship and free speech. I think what's going to happen is that he's going to try to make both sides happy. He's going to allow content creators who, again, have less advertiser-friendly content. They're still going to be able to monetize. They're still going to be able to make money, okay, without having to place ads on their content. And Twitter will still make money off those people. And when it comes to people who, you know, are more advertiser-friendly, who are not signing up for Twitter Blue, guess what? You can have advertisers advertise on their content, right? Which may be more advertiser-friendly. So I actually don't think that this is going to have much of an effect in regards to content moderation on Twitter, to be quite honest with you, especially if you have Twitter Blue. I think the whole point of Twitter Blue is to be able to insulate creators from having to be punished because advertisers don't want to place content or place ads on a creator's content. And I think that's kind of what's going on here. Okay, I think Elon Musk is trying to make both sides happy while also at the same time trying to make the platform as free speech as possible, at least to a certain extent. It's a fascinating business case. It really is. From a business perspective, it is extremely fascinating. And I don't think he made a bad decision from a business perspective. I think he made a decision that you kind of have to make, again, if you want to make money, right? But from a political perspective, I can see why people are upset, right? I can see why people would say Elon Musk is selling us out. Elon Musk is a traitor or whatever, because this woman is definitely woke. Okay, she's definitely a part of the globalist agenda, but all that stuff goes out the window, right? When it comes to trying to make sure you don't lose $44 billion that you invested into a platform, right? I mean, I think that Elon Musk is trying to thread a needle here in regards to keeping advertisers happy while at the same time protecting free speech, which again is a fascinating thing to behold and to watch. And I don't think he necessarily made the wrong decision, again, from a business perspective. I just think that politically speaking, people are not going to like it because of past experiences with woke CEOs. But I don't think that Elon Musk is going to allow her ideology to get in the way of free speech. So we'll see how it works out. But again, it is a fascinating business case. And it's another lesson to you guys that I try to tell you guys a lot when it comes to why these things happen. It's about money, right? I mean, that's what a lot of this stuff comes down to. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.